Can you hear me now? Good morning. I hope so, anyway. 4 a.m. and yet again, wake up wringing wet. Now I'm out of bed sheets. I don't know. This is getting crazy. I've never sweat like this in my sleep before. Not like this. And I don't understand it. Whatever. And today, I have a few things showing up that's going to take me a little while to learn. I'm anxious, nervous, I would say. Anyway, a few things showing up today, but I've got to go clear the back 40, get that all ready. Yet again, because weeds everywhere, so I've got to go do a little bit back there, because hopefully Monday, the sand and dirt will show up with a bobcat, and then a few days later, well, maybe a day or two later rather, because it doesn't take long to spread dirt, run over it, compact it, and whatnot with a bobcat. So then pallets of sod, but also Monday I have a lot of other work going on here. So the elevation and renovation projects currently going on here at this rental property. Excuse me. Let's see. Monday, we begin. I hired another contractor to help me, because I know how to do it. I just need help. That, and I need sheet metal, a thick gauge sheet metal, not this thin garbage. For the floor pans. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't even say it, but all 4 of the balconies of the house out front are gonna be rebuilt this next week. All the framing across the front, which is a portion of the reason why the ceiling above me is out. So all of this is going to be reframed in, bottle jacks and 2x to level the entire thing, because it's weird. I don't know if the gap between the ceiling joists. Okay. For the balconies, I don't know why, but the ceiling joists, they're throughout the house are all parallel. Okay, but at the balconies, they then become perpendicular. So they then go like this. Well, that gap that is right here is huge. So I don't know, is that from previous hurricanes that, like, I guess tried to pull and tug at the balcony areas, the dormer areas, because it is actually an overhang of the house. So I don't know, did hurricanes pull at that and cause a gap there? I don't know. I do know I'm going to go and level all of that and then frame it in really, really well. Liquid nails and 3-inch ring shank nails, so that joker ain't coming undone. You're gonna have to cut the thing out, and tie it in perfectly level. But no, all the balconies are being rebuilt. The insides are going to be redone from underneath, so that way then I can run insulation. Because as it turns out, those perpendicular lines, of ceiling joists that go out like that, there's never been a 2x10 between them. I think it's a 2x10. Might be a 2x12 because it's a 2-story. Minimum I would have done would have been a 2x10. I think it's a 2x10. It might be a 2x12. But anyway, there was never a 2x there installed and sealed, so that way you could run insulation. So basically, this whole house has never been well insulated. In other words, the hot air from outside or the cold air from outside would have been able to go underneath those balconies in between the floors, which would explain why upstairs, not a draft, but upstairs gets colder during the winter and hotter during the summer. Well, I mean, except for your feet on a concrete slab. But anyway, and this ought to get interesting this year, because this previous winter is when the elevation of this duplex was done, and it got to the coldest that I can recall, which was 27 degrees in New Orleans. And usually it only touches 28, 29 degrees, maybe 2 days out of the year, out of the entire winter here. So, from living in Colorado and whatnot, this here is like paradise. It snows like once every 10 years, but anyway, I'm forking off the path here. Anyway, I just, for the wintertime, usually I just run space heaters. I don't even need a heater here. So, and besides, I really do like it cold. I normally radiate heat, but not to the point where I wake up wringing wet. And I mean, it's so bad. It's almost like I wet the bed, but not that bad. Not like that, but this is the entire body. I mean, from the pillow all the way down my legs to, the cover and, everything beneath me. Is just, I've never experienced this, and no new medicines, and I'm not sick, I'm not spinning, so I really don't get it. No fever. I don't get it. Yet again, another neighbor, I guess, doing their political part in trying to get me to get the jab. I might just start, telling them, yeah, I got it. I got my two jabs. Just to leave me alone. Leave me alone, dude. I have my reasons. It's like, because I really just don't understand it. I really don't understand it. Before all of this political garbage, no one on the other side would have done it. Then things changed, and then they try to take ownership of it as though we created it, and now suddenly everyone's for it, and you're a how do you say, Yeah, I mean, the word salad, um, word police out here, if you will, um, go nuts on you and will go nuts on you because, and it drives me crazy. If anyone is a Nazi, they that you know, and I'm not saying as far as that extreme, but they throw these terms out there at other people, which is just totally ludicrous. When in fact, when you dig deep and you realize that they are nationalists, socialists, and communist, in that if you do not believe what they do, then not even that you are incorrect or that you are wrong or let's have a debate, but no, let's destroy your entire life, your family's life, and all of this. What's wrong with these people, dude? You know, that's just sick, sick. So, I'll just let them go be whatever they're gonna be, and let God sort them out. But I have my reasons why. Okay, being a blind type 1 diabetic, whenever I introduce anything into my body, it can do many other things. Okay, let's that keep in mind that I'm on two different types of insulin, right? And on the pens right now, because I don't know, insurance is weird. They're not wanting to cover the insulin pump or the artificial pancreas supplies. But yet they'll give me the insulin not in vial form. They will give me the insulin in a more expensive form, which is by the pens, which is great because then I turn the thing and I hear the clicks, and that's how many units of insulin I take. However, when the pens are the exact same size, when I grab them, I can't tell if it's gray or if it's dark blue. Is it a dark gray or a dark blue? I can't tell that. So I have to use lighting, and I have to use a magnifier on it. And then what I do is usually I'll just get like some painter's tape, and then I'll put painter's tape over it. So that way then I'll feel the painter's tape and I know exactly which insulin is which. Because here's my problem. If you're a diabetic, and let's say that normally your Lantus insulin, okay, that you would take, just say 44 units of Lantus, okay? But let's say, which is a 24-hour acting insulin. But let's say you grab the wrong insulin. You grab the fast-acting insulin for a meal, for those carbohydrates. Excuse me. Excuse me. Let's say you grab the wrong vial, or the wrong pen of insulin, rather, and you inject that into your body. And let's just say you took 44 units of the fast-acting insulin, right? Begins to work right away. And you were only supposed to take, I would say, based on those carbohydrates, 9 units of insulin? Yeah, that's not fun. That is not fun. Sit there with a gallon of orange juice or a gallon of milk and slices of bread, because it's the carbohydrates that affect the insulin. The insulin goes after the carbohydrates to then turn that into energy. So anyway, I'm not getting into ADP and ATP here with you. That's a different bio course. Anyway, that's the issue that I take with this, is once it's in, how do you get it back out? And how many cures for diabetes have I heard of? Have I heard of? Over what? More than 38 years. Let's see. Thereabouts, about 38 years. So since 1983, I was diagnosed in 1983 as a type 1 diabetic. Everything from avocados to vitamins to this or that. Look, type 2, maybe. Okay? Insipidus, possibly, but not mellitus. You know, no. No. Now, it is possible to then transplant the islet cells, which produce the hormone insulin in the pancreas, and transplant that to the liver. However, I enjoy a beer once in a while, or a bourbon and diet once in a while, or a scotch and water. I don't get plastered like these other people, but if it's in your liver, right, and it produces insulin, and it's working, that's not the route that I chose. So I chose the artificial pancreas, which is external of the body, and then with not IV, but an infusion, subcutaneous. So that way then the insulin could be... Look, I'm getting off in the weeds here. My body, my choice. That's it, right? And these people are just getting weirder and weirder and weirder and weirder. So I'm about to just say, yeah, you know what? I listened to you. You were right. You know what? You were right. I went ahead and spoke to my doctor, and he convinced me that that I should be in this popularity contest, which is basically of no trials. So, and when I look at this, okay, when the FDA, maybe I shouldn't have said that, maybe when I look at this, I'm observing this from a standpoint of a medicine. When it is in trial phase, it has to be measured over 18 months for side effects to be listed. And this came about, the first ones came up, the first of the jabs came about in February. So 18 months from then would then be August of 2022. So I 100% refuse until that point. I mean, let me rephrase this. I went to my doctor, and he convinced me that I should go along with this popularity contest, and single file, single file, get in line, single file. Now they're asking for your papers. This is sick. This is sick. The largest human trials ever conducted. And then these same people speak of the Second Amendment. And that is sick. In that, if it looks scary, it should be illegal. Because I have one or two that are, older older weapons, but they don't look scary. But they are far, far more powerful. And I can actually modify those much easier. But I never did any of that. That's illegal to do that. Okay. I'm not going to go there. So, I have a complete difference of opinion on many of those sort of issues. And, well, to relate that into crypto, I have a complete difference of opinion of changing a logo. Or any sort of centralization in that manner. Now, if you want a single news feed, I have it come, I would say, but to say that everything else is, if you didn't hear it here, it's not true. Okay, that is the centralization bit, when other people are able to tell what either is or is not. Okay, I can understand if you want a little more PR, but to then just say everything else is null and void, centralization, not a fan. And I'm not a fan of a rebrand or a rename. I mean, what's next? Call it ant shares? Just saying. But no, look, all of this setup is going to have to be taken down yet again here shortly. Monday, all of this is going to begin on this side of it. I may be able to just throw some visqueen up and staple it into place. I'm not certain, because I can cut the wood and all outside and then tack it in. I mean, it's not going to be drywall dust or this time. It's going to be sawdust, and the sawdust can be done outside. So this may be able to stay up. However, all of the tools on this side of me, from table saws to miter saws to everything on this side over here, is going to have to move, and just everything's going to be thrown up in the air for a little bit. So I'm going to be a little busy. May throw a quickie up here and there, but seems I'm going to have to, well, and then I have to learn how to use this other software and different things. So, and it's not a lot, but, well, for one of you, but for me, it is a little bit, because I don't have any formal instruction in any of this. So, and those people don't have a clue of how to do any of this either. So I've asked. But no, I got to looking about, and crypto is up a little, a decent amount from where I was going to. I had been throwing a dollar cost average in the Gemini, but it's still in dollar form. It is not in crypto form. So, and withdrawn from the exchange. So I have a few things I'm working on that I intend to do here that hopefully can illustrate to others what is possible. So, but yeah. Anyway, y'all, look, it is Saturday, The 24th. So this is now 25 days with no cigarette. I've almost made it a month. So look, go make it a day. Y'all be cool. Later.